The emergency board meeting is already a disaster before Marcus Kane even rolls into the glass-walled conference room. Share price graphs glow accusing red on every screen, executives avoid his eyes, and his wheelchair hums softly over the polished floor.
You let Victor take 2 contracts in 1 week, and you still expect a bonus this quarter.
His voice is sharp, colder than the air conditioning, cutting through the excuses and corporate buzzwords that cling to the room like dust. 3 months ago, Marcus walked into this room in a tailored suit, left in an ambulance, and woke up to metal rods and a chair on wheels. Victor Hale, his favorite rival, had smiled in every news photo from the crash site, sympathetic eyes hiding the satisfaction in his jaw. Now Marcus grips the armrest, so hard his knuckles ache, furious that his body will not stand, furious that pity has become a new currency. When the meeting ends in nervous promises and thin applause, his younger brother Evan is already waiting outside the door with a tight jaw.
You fired another nurse. You know, the agency is ready to blacklist you.
She talked to me like I was 5 and half asleep. Not like the man who owns this building.
She talked to you like a human being. That is kind of the point.
Marcus spins the chair toward the elevator, jaw set, refusing to admit how much he hates needing anyone to push him, touch him, help him.
I found one more. Last one. She is desperate enough to take your attitude. You are not getting rid of this one so easily.
I do not need a babysitter. I need my legs back.
The elevator doors slide shut, wrapping them in mirrors that show the same brothers with different heights now. One standing tall, one sitting furious. Upstairs in the penthouse, the city stretches out in glittering lines, as if nothing important has changed at all beyond this glass cage. Marcus throws his tie onto the couch, wheels himself toward the bar, and eyes the half-finished bottle of whiskey, like it personally offended him.
Do not get drunk before she even gets here. Ruby really is our last shot today.
Ruby, what is she? A jewel-themed therapist that comes with inspirational quotes and scented candles.
The door buzzer goes off right then, followed by a dull thud and a short high curse that definitely does not belong to a calm professional.
I am fine, totally fine. Your stupid golden doormat tried to kill me, but I won.
Her voice carries through the intercom, bright and unfiltered, and Marcus feels his brows rise before he can stop the twitch of interest.
She is early. That has to be a good sign. At least open the door before you decide to ruin this one.
When the elevator doors to the private floor slide open, Ruby Clark steps out carrying a giant backpack and a cheap coffee that smells amazing. She is in sneakers and a faded shirt with a cartoon cat lifting weights, curls escaping her bun, eyes wide as she drinks in the view.
So you are the rich one, and you must be the one who keeps firing people. Congratulations on your undefeated streak.
You talk like you already do not want this job.
I want the paycheck. I do not want to be lied to. Nobody said I would be dealing with a raging storm cloud in a designer chair.
Ruby, this is Marcus, my brother. Marcus, this is Ruby, your new live-in assistant, and the only person who answered honestly when I described you.
You told her. What exactly?
That you are rich, rude, recently attempted murder by luxury sedan, and currently refusing physical therapy, like a toddler refusing broccoli.
Evan chokes on a laugh, covering it with a cough, while Marcus stares at Ruby like she has spoken a language he has not heard in months.
Do you always insult your clients on the first day? Or am I a special occasion?
You are not my client. You are my workplace hazard. And if I am going to keep you alive, we need honesty more than we need manners.
Her eyes flick down to the wheelchair once then back to his face, not lingering, not pitying, just taking inventory like a mechanic meeting a broken engine. Marcus feels the familiar flare of rage rise in his chest, ready to explode at the first hint of sympathy. But it never comes. Only challenge.
So boss man, do you want to spend the rest of your life parked by the bar growling at graphs? Or do we start rerouting this whole sinking ship?
You are not steering anything in my life. You can last 1 week. Then you will run like the rest.
Challenge accepted, Kane. I have wrestled kindergartners in kitchen fires. Your attitude is just extra seasoning.
Evan watches the sparks bounce between them, a slow, hopeful smile forming, because for the first time since the crash his brother looks almost alive again. Somewhere across the city, Victor Hale signs another stolen contract and laughs at a headline about the broken billionaire. Unaware that a new storm is forming, Ruby moves into the guest room closest to Marcus, which he immediately calls the surveillance nest, and claims is a violation of his civil rights.
Relax, Kane. If I wanted to spy on you, I would install cameras, not fold your socks.
She unpacks mismatched mugs, cheap textbooks about physical therapy, and a framed photo of two kids in thrift store jackets, sharing a melting ice cream.
You brought your whole life into my house in one suitcase. That is either brave or very stupid.
It is called efficient. Rich boy. Some of us do not own entire floors for our shoes.
Morning starts at 6. Not because Marcus agrees, but because Ruby throws open the curtains and lets the rising sun punch straight through his headache.
Up, we are stretching and doing those boring exercises your expensive doctor recommended, and you pretend not to remember.
I run a company. I do not have time to count invisible muscles.
You used to run a company. Now you sit during every meeting. We train so you can choose which one you want back.
He curses under his breath while she helps him transfer to the therapy table. Her hands steady, her grip strong, no flinching at the scars on his legs. Most people look away, eyes skimming over the pale lines and angry metal. But Ruby studies them like a roadmap, not with horror, more with planning.
Pain level today, boss, on a scale from stubbed toe to stepped on a Lego in the dark.
You are an insult to credible medical scales.
I will take that as a 9 then. Breathe. Do not glare at me, glare at Victor instead.
At the mention of Victor, Marcus stiffens, jaw clenching, and the memory of screeching tires and shattered glass flashes bright behind his eyes. The truck that hit him came out of nowhere on a clear road, moving too fast, lights off, like someone had planned for fear to arrive unseen.
Hey, stay with me, squeeze my hand. We are here, there is coffee, there is revenge to plan later.
Revenge is not exactly a physical therapy goal.
Sure it is. Step 1, stay alive. Step 2, get stronger. Step 3, make the jerk who did this regret being born.
Her grin is wicked and wild, and something in Marcus that has been frozen since the accident cracks enough to let in a thin line of heat. Later, when Ruby raids his kitchen and discovers his idea of food is expensive takeout and bottled water, she stages a full-scale intervention with pots and pans.
You are out here losing contracts and nutrients at the same time. This is a crime against both capitalism and your organs.
I hired a caretaker, not a personal chef with strong opinions about my organs.
Too late, you got the deluxe package. It comes with nagging, vegetables, and unsolicited life advice.
She burns the first grilled cheese, laughs, scrapes off the black bits, and makes another, filling the penthouse with the smell of real food and ridiculous optimism. In the quiet that follows, Marcus catches her studying the stack of legal folders on his desk, the one stamped with the rival company logo in bold letters.
So this is what a corporate shark looks like on paper. A lot of small print and very dramatic branding.
That folder holds the proof that Victor paid off my driver and the first officer at the crash. And still, it is not enough yet.
Not enough for court maybe, but enough to start poking holes in his pretty image. We just need a bigger stick.
Marcus studies her, the way her eyes narrow when she thinks, the way she taps her fingers against her mug, already planning moves he has not dared to imagine.
Why are you this invested, Ruby? What do you really want out of this job besides rent-free views of the skyline?
I want my brother out of a bad neighborhood. I want my mom to stop worrying about medical bills. And I want you to stop looking like a ghost. Help me get the first 2, and I will help you remember you are not already dead.
Her honesty lands harder than any pity. And Marcus feels the strange, uncomfortable weight of being seen. Not as an empire, but as a man in pieces. That night, when nightmares drag him back to flashing lights and twisted metal, it is Ruby who shakes him awake, steady hands on his shoulders, soft curses on her lips.
You are here, Kane. There is no road, no sirens. Just your overpriced sheets and my amazing crisis management skills.
You talk too much.
You are welcome.
In the dark, his heartbeat finally slows, syncing with the quiet rhythm of her breathing from the chair beside his bed, where she falls asleep, sitting guard. By the 3rd week, the penthouse runs on a new schedule. One quietly rewritten by Ruby, while Marcus pretends he has not noticed the changes. There are whiteboards on the kitchen wall with therapy goals, meeting times, and a doodle of Marcus as a grumpy dragon, guarding a pile of paperwork.
You missed 2 strategy calls last week, Dragon Boy, and no one argued when Victor took the microphone. That is not allowed anymore.
I am not showing up on camera like this, sitting pretty while he struts around the room.
Then do not sit pretty, sit powerful. You are still the one with the brain and the shares. The chair is just furniture.
She orders a sleek new desk that adjusts to his height. A ramp for the small step he hates. and a camera that does not angle down like a pity shot.
I like her style, Marcus. She is doing more for your image than a whole team of consultants.
She drew horns on my face, on the whiteboard.
Correction. I drew motivational horns. You look fierce. The shareholders will love it.
When the next board call starts, Marcus sits at his new desk, shoulders squared, Ruby just out of frame holding up cue cards and coffee like a chaotic cheerleader. Victor appears on screen with his polished smile, clearly expecting a weak opponent, and almost visibly jolts when Marcus speaks first with steady controlled fire.
Since some people enjoy stealing contracts during hospital stays, let us discuss the clause about ethical conduct and undisclosed conflicts of interest.
Careful, Marcus. Accusing partners of crimes without proof could be seen as desperation. The market does not like desperate men.
Ruby holds up a card that says breathe in giant letters, and Marcus almost laughs, which takes some of the poison out of his next words.
Desperation is letting you think you have already won. Victor, I am just getting started.
After the call, his inbox explodes with nervous messages and cautious praise, and Ruby dances a tiny victory spin in her socks on the marble floor.
See, you still know how to bite. We just need better teeth next time.
That night, while Marcus answers emails, Ruby sits on the floor surrounded by files, sticky notes on her forehead, muttering dates and names like a one-woman crime lab.
Your driver changed his story 3 times. The officer lost the footage, and Victor was magically in the area, but not on any official record. This is not bad luck. This is a $sign-shaped miracle for him, which means a setup for you.
I know, but knowing is not enough. I need something the world cannot ignore.
Then we get it. I have a cousin who does security work at Victor office building. Lots of cameras there. Lots of people who know more than they say.
I am not dragging your family into this war.
News flash. We are already in it. Your crash shook the whole market. Prices went weird in my neighborhood grocery store for weeks.
Her anger is not abstract. It is rent, food, medicine. All the small things that rich headlines never mention. And Marcus feels shame coil in his chest.
If Ruby has leads, we should follow them. We can protect her. You are not the only one who wants payback.
The 3 of them bend over the table, building a messy battlefield out of printouts and coffee rings, a strange little army made of 1 billionaire, 1 brother, 1 stubborn caretaker. When Ruby nods off on the couch, Marcus throws a blanket over her, fingers brushing a curl from her forehead, heart tripping in a way that has nothing to do with fear.
You are trouble, Ruby Clark.
He says it so softly she does not hear, but the words hang in the air anyway, a quiet admission to the night and to himself. Across town, Victor receives an anonymous message that simply reads we should talk about that night, and he feels the first thin crack of unease in his careful control. Time moves in careful minutes, every small sound in the penthouse louder than any shout from the past. Outside the windows the city keeps shining, but inside the rooms their world has shrunk to a few tight corners. Silence stretches between them, not empty at all, packed with questions neither of them is ready to ask yet. Night comes early over the glass towers, wrapping their unfinished sentences in a soft, uneasy kind of quiet. Sometimes healing feels less like a straight climb and more like circles, slow and stubborn and strangely hopeful. Ruby insists on being the one to walk into Victor world, partly because she blends in, partly because she does not trust rich men to play it safe.
Relax, Kane. I used to juggle 2 jobs and a night class. I can pretend to be a temp receptionist for 1 afternoon.
You should not be near that man at all. He treats people like numbers and obstacles.
So do you just feel bad about it now, which is progress. Besides, I will have a panic button on my phone and Evan in the lobby.
Marcus watches on a hidden feed as Ruby walks into Victor lobby in a cheap blazer and borrowed heels. Her hair slicked back, expression bored and efficient. She chats with the real receptionist, cracks a joke about the coffee, and smoothly plugs a tiny drive into the side of a forgotten office computer.
Got it. Their camera system is a mess, but I grabbed the backup logs and something with your name on it from the legal folder list.
You are scarily good at this. Remind me never to make you mad at me.
They barely have time to celebrate before Victor himself appears near the elevator bank, all charm and expensive cologne, clicking through messages on his phone.
New face. What is your name?
Ray, short-term hire. I file things and try not to fall asleep on your lobby couch.
Marcus grips the wheels of his chair as Victor smiles at Ruby, a predator politely greeting a rabbit, unaware that this rabbit is carrying a lit match.
If you want to stay longer, bring me coffee the way I like it, black, no sugar, no hesitation.
Tempting offer, but I have a strict policy about serving men who smile like hidden knives.
She turns away before he can reply, heart pounding, but her voice stays light, and the mic in her pocket catches every word for Marcus to replay later. Back at the penthouse, they sift through the stolen logs and find exactly what they need, a late-night meeting record with the officer from Marcus' crash.
He paid the man through a fake consulting company. Look, the amounts match the missing evidence timeline. This is your smoking gun with a fancy logo.
We take this to the press and the board. Victor will not know what hit him.
We move carefully, he will come for anyone he thinks helped me, which includes both of you.
Newsflash Kane, I am already on his camera system making faces behind his back. Subtle is not really an option anymore.
They work late, building a timeline, preparing statements, filing secret complaints with regulators, turning Ruby messy notes into sharp blades of information. When a thunderstorm rolls over the city, the windows rattle, and a sudden blackout drops the penthouse into darkness with a soft electric sigh.
Well, this is not ominous at all. Do rich buildings come with backup lights, or do we just vibe in the dark now?
The generator should be on already. Something is wrong.
A moment later, emergency lights flicker weak and red, and the building security app on Marcus' tablet shows an error message, instead of the usual calm green grid.
Security just called. Someone tried to force the loading dock door. They ran when the alarm went off.
So Victor already knows you are poking at his skeleton closet. Great, love that for us.
I knew he would strike back. I just thought I would be standing when it happened.
You are standing where it matters, in the middle of the mess. That counts, the legs thing we handle one step at a time.
She kneels in front of his chair, steadying it as the building trembles with thunder, eyes fierce in the dim light, and for a second, he forgets to hate the chair.
I cannot lose you in this, Ruby.
Then do not push me away, push Victor off his throne instead. I am not going anywhere until you do.
The words are not a love confession, not yet, but they crack through his fear like lightning, bright and terrifying and impossible to ignore. Time moves in careful minutes, every small sound in the penthouse louder than any shout from the past. Outside the windows the city keeps shining, but inside the rooms their world has shrunk to a few tight corners. Silence stretches between them, not empty at all, packed with questions neither of them is ready to ask yet. Night comes early over the glass towers, wrapping their unfinished sentences in a soft, uneasy kind of quiet. The day of the shareholder meeting dawns clear and sharp, the kind of blue sky that makes the whole city look like it has something to prove. Marcus' suit is perfectly cut to fit his seated frame. Tie knotted with care by Evan, cuffs adjusted by Ruby, who mutters about armor and battle under her breath.
You look like a man they should be afraid of again, which is good. You were starting to look like a sad myth.
I am still the man in the chair.
You are the man in charge, the chair is just wheels. Stop giving it so much credit.
The meeting hall is packed, screens ready, press waiting outside for any sign of weakness, and Victor already on stage, shaking hands like he owns the future. Gasps ripple through the audience when Marcus rolls down the central aisle instead of staying hidden in a private box, head high, focus locked on the podium.
Marcus, so brave of you to join us in person. Truly inspiring.
I thought it was time people saw who was really steering this company and who was busy driving it into a wall.
At Ruby's signal from the tech booth, the lights dim, and the main screen switches from quarterly numbers to a grainy video of Victor in a parking garage. The room goes silent as he hands an envelope to the officer from Marcus' crash report, their conversation about lost footage and increased payment echoing over the speakers.
This is taken out of context. You cannot trust illegally obtained recordings.
The regulators we alerted seem to disagree, as do the officers who flipped your friends this week to save themselves.
Confirmation emails were sent to every major shareholder this morning. Everyone here knows exactly what they watched.
Questions erupt, angry voices overlapping. The quiet power balance that once tilted toward Victor, now tipping fast and hard toward outrage. Ruby grips the side of the booth, heart racing, watching Marcus hold steady under the weight of 100 stares, refusing to flinch or look at his legs.
I almost died because someone decided my life and this company were cheaper as shattered glass. I will spend the rest of my time making sure that choice destroys him instead.
His words land with the weight of truth, and one by one investors demand Victor removal. Their questions less about sympathy, more about survival and trust. By the time security escorts Victor from the stage, he looks smaller than ever, a man who thought he owned the game and forgot that other people bleed too.
You did it, big brother. You knocked him off his throne while sitting down.
We did it. I would still be staring at the same four walls without you and Ruby pushing me.
Later, back at the penthouse, the air feels lighter, the city lights warmer, as if the whole skyline has exhaled with them.
So revenge box checked, company saved. What are you going to do with all this survival you accidentally pulled off?
First, keep breathing. Second, rebuild better. Third, talk to the woman who treats me like a person and a problem set at the same time.
Sounds intense. Maybe start with something easy, like admitting you enjoy my company.
I enjoy your company there. Are you happy now?
Shockingly, yes, and maybe a little terrified because I kind of like you too, stubborn wheels and all.
The confession hangs between them, soft and bright, and for the first time since the crash, Marcus feels the future not as a threat, but as a question.
I cannot promise I will ever walk again, Ruby. Some days I can barely look at the chair without wanting to throw it out the window.
Good thing the windows do not open then. I am not here for a miracle cure. I am here because you are ridiculous and kind beneath all that armor. We will build something that fits you now, not the ghost of who you were before the crash.
He reaches for her hand, fingers threading through hers, and in that simple grip is a new contract, unwritten but binding, full of small daily rebellions against despair. In the months that follow, the company invests in accessibility, hiring staff with mobility aids, designing offices with ramps and wide doors, quietly rewriting what power looks like. Marcus still has bad days, nightmares and pain that curls his hands into fists. But Ruby is there with terrible coffee art and worse jokes until he breathes easier again. They do not rush to a grand perfect ending. They build it slowly, in burned breakfasts, shared files, late-night planning, and kisses that taste like survival, and second chances.
Thanks for watching. Follow for more romance stories.